Deep below the castle, a sealed dungeon waits in silence. A monstrous hand grips the bars with terrifying force. Red eyes open, and something inhuman demands freedom. Outside, an old knight whispers, after 5 years. But before that, murderous intent nearly shattered the prince's mind. His body froze before power he couldn't understand. If he dodged, everything he fought for would end. So he answered fate with blue mana in desperation. A brutal clash erupted against someone impossibly stronger, and that deadly farewell came from his own father. But before any of that, the palace seemed peaceful. Too peaceful, like disaster was already hiding nearby. A nervous maid realized her mission had gone wrong. Then a voice caught her in the dark hallway. A black-haired royal asked if she was new. Another noble demanded to know why she was there. She guessed he was the dangerous third royal. He decided she needed a lesson immediately. But another brother interrupted before things got worse. The third prince appeared, accused of troubling servants again. Instead, he only remembered the maid's delicious snack. Then his thoughts shifted toward the unarmed realm. Blue mana gathered, reducing deadly sword pressure. The main character realized his strength had finally awakened. 5 years earlier, a sword had pierced through him. He remembered dying in a duel from another life. Now, his peaceful routine was about to collapse. He stormed into a conference without waiting for permission. Before his father, he demanded to join the meeting. He remembered this exact moment from his previous life. The Empire had requested armies against an eastern threat. The Allied forces failed, and nations were destroyed. Orcs rampaged everywhere, yet the Empire survived untouched. That was when he understood the conspiracy. This time, he refused to let history repeat. While nobles argued, he declared he would go. He challenged them to prove their loyalty too. Soon, he trained for the coming battlefield. A panicked brother asked if he was truly leaving. Then he promised to protect the palace instead. An advisor still warned him to stay careful. He was told to fear flag-bearing orcs, because those beasts were monsters among monsters. The prince promised he had a very special plan. A mysterious box arrived inside the grand hall. Inside waited 4 legendary daggers called Elementarian. They were ancient magical artifacts, not decoration. Alone afterward, he called out a hidden watcher. A shadow ally appeared, bringing news from the dark. She asked if he was really joining the army. He revealed she was coming with him. For her, anywhere was better than her past. Days later, the return to combat finally arrived. A friend embraced him, promising they would meet again. Then he saw the army depending on him. He swore those soldiers wouldn't die like before. His father told him to endure what came next. After surviving it, the prince stepped forward smiling. He raised his sword and ordered the army to march. The sun rises over a mysterious forest. Birds take flight in alarm. Knights set up camp, sharing jokes as our hero drinks quietly alone. The main character stares ahead, deep in thought, clearly the serious type. Sir Raymond, how far have we traveled? Asks the prince, checking the map. We should reach Sitter soon, Raymond replies, pointing out the route. Raymond plans the next move after Sitter. We march through Gid into Balshad. Is our pace good? Raymond questions, while the third prince simply nods. Text appears third prince. Yep, the quiet guy is royalty. The third prince glances back at Raymond, who looks pretty concerned. Suddenly, a dark armored figure blames Laurent Flandre, saying, all of this happened because of you. Laurent Flandre is introduced as the guy who killed me before. Laurent greets with a serious nice to meet you and clenched fist. Laurent bows, introducing himself, leaving the other knight surprised. Laurent excitedly says he's wanted to talk for a long time. The dark-haired knight, sweating, asks nervously what Laurent wants. Laurent dramatically declares I admire you, causing total confusion. Laurent explains the admiration started after hearing stories 5 years ago. A flashback kid Laurent is wowed hearing the prince stood his ground. Another flashback the prince bravely defends a servant girl with his sword. Laurent smiles wide, saying that's the true code all knights should follow. The dark-haired knight gets totally dazzled by the blonde knight's excitement. The dark-haired knight says he's heard all about the blonde knight. The blonde knight is honored, practically fanboying over meeting the famous knight. The knights get summoned. Prince, it's time to move out. Adventure mode activate. Heads up. The squad warns our prince about Count Sitter, the ultimate grump. Night falls over a massive castle, setting the stage for an epic arrival. Banner time. We welcome the third prince. Talk about some royal treatment. The castle is decked out, knights lined up, and the banners are flying high. Our knight is impressed. It's quite a warm welcome, and even the horse looks pumped. Count Sitter welcomes the prince, but this guy looks like he eats nails for breakfast. The prince thanks Sir Hamey and gets praised for bravery at a young age. Sir Hamey, looking wise, asks the prince if he's fought orcs before. The prince tries to sound confident, claiming he's definitely battled orcs before. Plot twist. He admits he hasn't, but hey, at least he's studied. The prince says none of his soldiers have fought orcs either, so he's done his homework. Sir Hamey is genuinely impressed by the prince's effort and determination. Hamey moves closer, getting ready to share something important with the prince. With a sly smile, Sir Hamey asks the prince if he'd accept a special gift. Meanwhile, a mysterious armored figure stands before a massive, ominous gate. The mysterious figure works intently, unlocking the gate with a strange, intricate tool. The old knight leads the tense group of armored soldiers down the corridor. With a fierce grin, the old knight says, "This way, prince." The prince and his armored crew march with purpose, ready for anything. An ominous heavy door creaks open, light spilling into the darkness. A stunned guard gasps in confusion, alarmed by what's happening. The prince demands answers. What is the meaning of this, Sir Hamey? Sir Hamey smirks. No need to be scared, beside blazing flames. Flickering torches light up the long, mysterious dungeon hallway ahead. The prince narrows his eyes, suspicious and totally not trusting this situation. Two guards start panicking, whispering, this is, like it's a medieval escape room. The knights discover an orc locked in a cage and call him a captive. Sir Hamey wants to study the orc's habits and instincts for battle. The young knight asks if this caged orc is Sir Haim's crazy gift. Sir Haimi grins, saying it's the best gift before their war begins. The young knight thanks him, thinking, wow, this guy's wild, torturing an orc. The young knight senses something off as he glances at his armored companion. He questions the knight behind him, asking for his name. The knight replies confidently, I'm Simon Fesh, son of Baron Bolf. The young knight repeats, is this the gift you mentioned, Sir Haimi? Sir Haimi boldly confirms, saying nothing could be better for their upcoming war. Two knights stand in a dark, cobweb dungeon, tension in the air. The main knight asks, what's your name? Simon nervously responds with his title. Simon is asked to share his thoughts while a prisoner shivers in a cage. Simon looks worried, saying this seems too extreme for a prisoner of war. The main knight tells Simon he may not understand the reason yet. The main knight commands Haimi to open one of the cages, setting things in motion. He confirms Simon's name with a sharp tone, keeping him on edge. The main knight declares, this is real combat now, as something stirs. The order is clear and simple, Simon must fight the orc. Simon stands face to face with a massive orc, full squad watching closely. The knight grips his spear tightly, sweating as something terrifying approaches fast. Suddenly, a monstrous beast with glowing eyes and massive fangs screams furiously. The monster crashes to the ground, roaring in pain as the knight attacks. The armored knight faces off against the massive, red-eyed beast. Close up, the knight looks terrified, sweat dripping down his face. And no way, I can't fight a helpless prisoner. The knight yells. The monster swings and smashes the knight, sending him flying. The knight, battered, screams in shock as his helmet is broken. Another knight shouts Simon, rushing to help his fallen friend. The red-eyed monster grabs Simon, lifting him like a rag doll. Panic everywhere. Confident boots step forward. We've cut most of its tendons already, a voice boasts. The calm prince sits with his advisor, both watching the chaos unfold. The knight and the old warrior size up the aftermath of battle. Dramatic pause. Big revelation, this is an orc. The older knight calls the young armored prince your highness, tension rising. Grizzled knight rants, this is what orcs do, always taking more. Panic. A soldier screams for help. Apparently, he's only half sliced the orc's tendons. The orc grabs a hostage, shouting nonsense. Squad freezes, clearly not Hogwarts material. Prince looks confused. Is that orc taking a hostage? Quick, get an interpreter. Hooded figure peeks in, ready to translate the orc's wild threats. The mysterious interpreter, named Corey, enters with some serious dark vibes. The prince is bewildered. Corey? He's got questions and absolutely no answers. The hooded figure threatens, lower your weapons or the knight gets wrecked. The monstrous orc grabs the armored knight, totally overpowering him. The blonde mage's hand glows, called into action by your highness. The mage unleashes a blast of glowing green magic at the orc. Now's your chance. The knight dives in while magic pins the enemy. Our hero takes out the orc in a surprise move, landing a huge blow. The massive orc crashes to the ground, while everyone stands back in shock. The orc rises, roaring with rage. Definitely not your average enemy. Sir Haimi, that orc's no joke. Turns out he's a war veteran. Sir Haimi explains this orc ate knights alive. No wonder he's so terrifying. The furious knight ignores danger, ready to strike, raging at the enemy. Another knight tells him to calm down, revealing he's speaking to royalty. The prince says he's not scolding, but warns to look behind. Sinister red eyes appear in the darkness. Worse threats are coming soon. The prince tells the knight to focus, revealing this is only training. Today, we're learning how to kill orcs, because who doesn't want to be a hero? Our squad of armored knights rides out with banners waving, looking like fantasy Avengers. The dark-haired knight looks determined, ready to take on whatever is coming. Oh, someone's worried the platoon will freak out because Corey's a half-orc. The blonde guy looks way too relaxed, confident Hernando can handle this drama himself. Hernando checks a map marked with red X's like he's planning an epic scavenger hunt. Hernando calls Jared, who's like, yes, sir, no pressure. Jared, just the fate of everyone. Jared and Hernando ride off on their horses together, teamwork making this dream work. Hernando hands Jared the map, tasks him with recon, but Jared's confused by the assignment. Jared's worried about chasing bandits, but Hernando is like, don't worry, we love a good chase. The dark-haired knight teases, questioning the prince's confidence and talent. The blonde prince admits he's young, inexperienced, and totally not Mr. Confident. Laughing, the knight watches as the nervous prince dashes away on horseback. Riding beside another knight, the main character's care for the prince gets noticed. The dark-haired knight tries to play it cool, but is obviously proud. He politely asks, Sir Raymond, mind if I ask an unentertaining question? Sir Raymond gets hit with a deep question, what do you fight for? The question catches Sir Raymond off guard, he hasn't heard it in ages. Looking serious, Sir Raymond says his answer is old but honest. The knight listens intently as Sir Raymond declares, it's for the safety of Brielle. The knight smirks, thinking, not a bad answer at all. Riding confidently, the knight commands, maintain this speed, he'll check on Jared. The knight dashes through the forest, determined to reach Jared fast. He spots a hidden camp, possibly the bandits' hideout, nestled in the woods. Jared, tied up on the ground, yells in pain, clearly in trouble. The knight's armored foot lands beside Jared, ordering him to be quiet. The knight leans in with a dagger, warning, value your life, don't you think? Another knight arrives and says, Your Highness, I found it, holding binoculars. They pinpoint the bandit base from a vantage point. Mission progress is awesome. The knight questions, so this guy did recon alone? Your boss sent you solo? The captive guy insists, it's true. While tied up on the ground, the knight gets suspicious, saying he's just a rookie and knows little. Something mysterious begins to glow under the captive's shirt. The tied up guy screams in terror, clearly freaking out. The knight finds a glowing artifact and asks, what is this? The captive nervously explains the boss gave him the glowing item. The knight guesses it's magical, but the captive totally panics. The knight says, "Is that so? Guess it can't be helped," intimidating the captive. The knight boldly claims he'll have to capture the boss himself for answers. The sun rises over the mountains as the quest for the boss begins. A knight hiding behind a tree calls out, "Your Highness." With urgency, on horseback, a commander reports all forces are positioned to block enemy escapes. The young noble smiles, planning to cause chaos from inside their enemy ranks. The group of knights gets moving fast. If they're late, there's no reward. One knight panics as their leader dashes off solo, shouting after the prince. Another armored knight warns it's dangerous to go alone, charging after him. The prince grins wildly, raising his sword and rallying his soldiers to charge. The forest fills with thunderous cries as the prince leads a full-on charge. In a nearby camp, bandits hear the commotion. "What's that noise?" one asks. Shocked, one bandit almost drops his bread, both staring at the chaos outside. The armored hero charges into chaos, sword blazing, and bandits flee in panic. Two terrified bandits stumble back as they're confronted, totally not expecting this. The knight grins at the bandits and just calls them out. "Zero fear here." The soldiers burst onto the scene yelling, "Your Highness," but they're super late. Knights in armor stare in shock, realizing the fight's already over. Awkward. The main knight casually sits by the fire, surrounded by defeated enemies. Total boss move. Why so reckless? One knight complains, but the boss knight fires back with confidence. Sir Raymond reports, "No bandits escaped, no casualties," absolutely nailing that hero checklist. The main knight grabs some meat, like, "Let's eat what they left, victory snack time." Dinner served field-style skewered meat, cooked right on the fire. Now that's teamwork. The knight tells his friend that the food smells bad but tastes amazing. The group decides to camp out before marching again in the morning. The bearded knight discusses the next destination and says routes overlap at Gid. Suddenly, one of the knights gets punched hard in a surprise attack. The bearded knight reveals the next kingdom they'll meet is the Holy Kingdom. The dark-haired knight grins, excited to meet a kingdom with holy magic. The bearded knight hopes for healing, but doubts they'll actually get it. There's a wild rumor. The commander of the allied forces is a princess. The armored princess appears, stepping forward dramatically with a red cape. Guards explain the princess is fighting for her position and needs results. The mysterious girl steps out of the shadows as rumors swirl around her. People believe she will do anything for the allied forces this time. The knight learns about the princess from the Holy Kingdom. Intrigued much, his advisor offers to investigate, but the knight says, "No need." The knight decides he'll meet the princess face to face under the moonlight. The allied forces assembly point is Balshot, with a big stop at Gid. Gid is in charge of feeding the entire group. That's a lot of snacks. If you break Gid's rules, military law takes over. Do not act suit. Gid is independent, so everyone must obey its strict city regulations while inside. Orders given. Raymond must teach the soldiers discipline. Even the knights get no free pass. The knight boldly claims, "I'll go meet the lord himself." No hesitation. The city's lord welcomes our main knight. "Pleasure to meet you, Prince of Breel." The Prince of Breel thanks his host and pledges support to the allied forces. The host jokes that the prince scares orcs just like his heroic father. A butler interrupts the conversation, getting the older man's attention. The butler whispers urgently to the older man, causing some concern. The older man informs the prince that the princess from the Holy Kingdom has arrived. The prince agrees to meet the princess, looking totally chill about it. The princess makes a dramatic entrance. Everyone's watching her. Talk about making an entrance. Lady Sabila Arsaint, second princess of the Holy Kingdom, enters setting the bar high. Princess Sabila introduces herself with full royalty energy, making it super official. The host respectfully greets Princess Sabila, calling it an honor in this barren land. The armored woman glares and asks, "Are you one of his vassals?" The dark-haired guy lounges confidently, totally unfazed by the tension. The prince tells everyone to leave, wanting a private chat with the guy. A furious knight yells, "How dare you sit when her highness speaks?" The dark-haired guy just smirks and casually replies, "Well, shock twist." The guy reveals, "I am the third prince of Breel." The room goes dead silent. Everyone freezes in disbelief at this news. The nervous knight sweats, admitting he's actually the leader of the troops. The prince dramatically blames himself, jokes about dressing like a neighborhood rascal. The armored woman face palms as everyone scrambles to apologize to their highness. The prince wonders if his outfit actually looks shabby, sipping some tea. Two armored guests apologize for earlier while a silver-haired man watches. Yuri introduces himself as the third prince of Breel, trying to impress. Sabila shakes Yuri's hand, keeping it polite but a bit awkward. Yuri asks Sabila's age, joking that their age gap doesn't matter. Yuri laughs, insisting they're basically friends and no need for formal talk. An elder praises Sabila and Yuri's friendship, hinting at fighting orcs together. The elder checks in with Sabila, who agrees, but she's not super thrilled. Yuri notices there's no sign of troops. Sabila explains they're coming tomorrow. Concerned, Yuri hopes nothing bad happens before the armies arrive. The princess questions if there will be a conflict in the Holy Kingdom. The dark-haired guy warns, external conflict, like orcs sneaking in and ambushing. An elder agrees, calling orcs sly, but believes the Holy Kingdom is safe. The princess is told to keep an eye out, looking a tad worried. The scene jumps to a busy town square, with someone asking about the Holy Kingdom's paladins. Black-haired hero thinks the paladins are strict, the princess will struggle. He admits he liked the princess but then changes the subject completely. Our hero holds up a mysterious red crystal necklace, asking where it really came from. The white-haired friend swears it's from this marketplace. Supposedly, it lures orcs. Flashback: a bandit claims the necklace sends orcs into a rage, like a war drug. The merchant gets mad when his artifact is judged, saying it's too crude. Kicked out of the shop, the two guys wonder where all artifacts went. The dark-haired guy says it's unfortunate they found nothing. He's staying positive. The white-haired guy urgently calls out to the dark-haired guy, calling him Your Highness. He points to a bar, noticing soldiers heading in to gamble, and gets excited. The dark-haired guy gets fired up, saying he can't let soldiers gamble. With determination, they agree discipline is needed in the army. It's about to go down. Dramatic shot of the city. Something big is about to happen. Soldiers discuss if someone spoke with the Lord, hinting at important talks happening. Vice Commander Fennec says he's heard rumors the Briel's prince prestige is at rock bottom. Fennec and the prince argue about leadership in the once glorious Briel kingdom. Fennec complains the prince looks like a mercenary and acts even worse. The prince jokes Briel might lose a prince after this orc raid. Fennec asks if there's a problem with the main force, looking worried. The prince confidently brags that he's got everything under control, no worries. Fennec says her squad will patrol the city, staying alert for trouble. Fennec is deep in thought, clearly not trusting the prince's big confidence. In a lively tavern, townsfolk gossip and drink, unaware of royal drama outside. The prince arrives at the door, scanning for any suspicious activity inside. The prince spots strangers and demands, "Who are they?" Tension fills the air. Briel's soldiers sneakily gather in the city, acting totally out of control. The soldiers start gambling. Are these the worst troops or a casino club? The paladin and his buddy are shocked. No wonder, look at their wild commander. The paladin loses it and shouts, demanding the soldiers explain themselves now. He catches the soldiers red-handed, questioning if they joined just to play cards. The paladin lays down the law, asking if they take this alliance seriously. Tension rises as one soldier grabs the paladin, ready to talk back. The confident soldier steps up, asking the paladin, "What's your name?" Like a boss, the guy in white gets called out as the third prince. Awkward start. A group of armored soldiers hears there being a bad influence, busted at game night. The guy in red roasts him, saying he should hold a sword, not cards. The third prince just grins back, totally unfazed by the slam. Third prince goes full savage, demanding the other guy's name and respect. The red-caped dude stutters, clearly not ready for this comeback. Suddenly, a higher-up shows up like, "Hey, what's happening here?" Boss lady enters, calls out Sir Fennec for skipping patrol, caught in 4K. Sir Fennec bows, awkwardly apologizing for getting exposed in front of everyone. Looking serious, Sir Fennec tells the third prince to stay outside, awkward tension rising. The knight confronts two people, and tension fills the air instantly. The woman in red looks determined, ready to take charge herself. She apologizes for her friend, but the man laughs and says it's fine. She explains how hard it is to control everyone, but tries to stay cool. She promises to repay this mysterious debt, and he agrees to wait. The main guy stares back, clearly thinking about what just happened. He realizes she's losing her power struggle and understands Raymond's warning. Shrugging it off, the main guy decides it's not his problem anyway. As night falls, he's already looking to start a new adventure game. Meanwhile, the woman and her knights regroup outside, but she's clearly frustrated. The commander grills his partner about befriending the Prince of Briel. Drama much? The commander complains about the prince's lack of elegance. This guy loves rules. Both turn around, sensing something serious is about to go down. A mysterious armored rider charges toward the town as the sun sets. The exhausted knight kneels, apologizing but urgently delivering a message from the main force. The lady demands answers. She wants the urgent message ASAP. The commander reveals the main force was just attacked by orcs. Things just escalate. A knight prepares to leave. Someone nervously asks if the highness is heading out immediately. On horseback beneath the moon, the knight faces an old advisor who looks worried. The advisor awkwardly suggests calling for backup from the Briels. Desperate times, desperate measures. The armored vice commander senses something big is about to go down. The advisor wants to avoid damage, but his plan gets shut down fast. The vice commander proudly declares the Holy Kingdom doesn't need help fighting orcs. The advisor tries to clarify, but agrees to let the knights do their thing. Confident, the vice commander assures everyone there's nothing to worry about. The vice commander rallies the knights, shouting, "Let's go," and charges ahead. The knights race under the moon, determined to handle things their way. The advisor and a knight watch the Holy Kingdom squad disappear into the distance. The advisor admits the Holy Kingdom's vice commander is extra stubborn and won't change. The advisor sends the knight to meet the third prince at the Briel army's camp. The old man warns, "You must make haste. There isn't much time." Knights gather under the moon. One asks, "Your Highness, what does it say?" The prince reveals, the Holy Kingdom's main force was attacked by orcs. The prince explains they're needed to help eliminate the nearby orcs. The knight clarifies, "So Gid is requesting this, not the Holy Kingdom?" The prince thinks back, certain someone was being stubborn about the request. Taking charge, the prince commands, "Sir Raymond, prepare to head out." The prince asks the kneeling knight, "What is your name?" Knight answers, "My name is Roy, Your Highness." He receives a secret mission. The prince says, "Tell the bar only the first 10 knights get accepted." Our knight stares at mysterious rider dashing away under the moonlight. Something's up tonight. He drops a folded note by a lantern and confidently says, "All right, then." Eyes closed, our armored hero breathes and readies himself for what's next. With a grin, he declares, "Time for a walk at night. Like this is a midnight challenge." Next thing you know, he's riding fast with his squad. Mission vibes, let's go. Smirking, he jokes, "Everyone still seems a little tipsy, no? Night patrol is a party." Helmeted knights cheer, "Not at all, Your Highness." Clearly, caffeine or adrenaline is working. Our hero checks on Jared, who's looking seasick on land. Jared insists he's fine. Laurent rides up, calling out, "Your Highness, looks like he wants in on the high-speed squad talk." Laurent is sparkling with praise, saying he's impressed by Your Highness forgiving the rude paladins. Laurent gets hyped, saying he doesn't need to stoop as low as his enemies. The dark-haired knight laughs it off, and someone wonders if Laurent's always this dramatic. The dark-haired knight thanks Laurent for his loyalty, reflecting on how different things feel now. Laurent beams, just happy that someone finally noticed his efforts on the team. Suddenly, a panicked knight rushes in, warning, Your Highness. Something's been spotted ahead. Everyone turns as silhouettes appear on the horizon. Paladins of the Holy Kingdom are here. The knights rally up, their leader announcing it's their first battle against the orcs. He boldly declares he'll be the first to enter and last to leave the battlefield. I, Yuri Briel, the third Prince of Briel, he declares with epic energy. On his glowing horse, Yuri commands his soldiers, looking like a total legend. The knight struggles to control a glowing blue horse bursting with energy. Do not get hurt, the most obvious advice ever shouted in battle. The paladins of the Holy Kingdom are gathered under the night sky. The knight regrets underestimating the enemy and getting caught off guard. A hero warns orcs can show up anywhere, making things unpredictable. Close up of the knight, blaming themselves for not being cautious enough. Someone spots the battle raging in the distance, realizing things are intense. The orcs are still fighting fiercely, not backing down from the knights. The knight is relieved the battle flag is still waving in the chaos. Sir Fennec, we charge now. The knights prepare to strike the enemy. A paladin yells for everyone to form up and charge forward together. The knights rally, shouting yes, sir. As they charge into battle, the knight prays for power, asking, please push me forward, Lord. The knight charges ahead on horseback, shouting, increase your speed. Suddenly, the knights face a creepy skull pulsing with purple energy. The evil skull's eyes flare up. This is definitely not going to end well. Purple magic erupts from the skull, trapping the knights with a sinister spell. The ground cracks under the lead horse, sending chaos through the ranks. The knight realizes too late, yelling, it's a trap, as disaster strikes. Knights and horses fall into a giant pit. No one saw this coming. As the knight falls, doubt sets in. Did I make the wrong choice again? Bruised and battered, the knight lands alone, questioning their decision. As a kid, I awakened holy magic by accident, and everyone cheered. Their praise felt amazing, so I tried to impress them even more. When I finally beat my brother in swordsmanship, I knew I messed up. Suddenly, the church declared, Lady Sibylla shall lead the allied forces. My brother got scared I'd take the throne and push me to war. The priest told me if I fought for God, I'd find salvation. Lying injured, I realized this was never about salvation at all. They just wanted me gone. This was all a setup. My fellow knights are down, barely able to move on the field. Lady Sibylla stands up, rallies the troops, and refuses to back down. The knight grabs a sword, sensing something unusual about it. She realizes her sword is covered in oil, which is never good. Suddenly, she's surrounded by torch-wielding brutes on the cliffs above. The knight spots flames reflecting in her eye, panic rising. One massive brute raises his torch, looking way too proud of himself. First they ambushed us, now they want to barbecue me? How am I supposed to survive this insanity? The knight stands defiant, glowing with determination and frustration. What have I been working so hard for, just to get roasted? Something falls. The knight says, open your eyes, and gets ready to fight back. The armored prince holds a torch and asks, was it so hard to ask for help? The prince grins with a torch and glowing sword, checking if his ally's okay. A rope dramatically drops down a rocky cliff, ready for a daring rescue. The prince grabs his injured ally's hand, pulling them to safety. The knight thanks the prince, promising to repay the life-saving favor. The knight stands, blushing, and addresses the prince with respect and gratitude. Fennec, vice commander, formally bows and apologizes for past tavern rudeness. Fennec promises to remember the prince's grace until the end of his days. The smiling prince accepts the apology, asking for help if Briel needs it next time. Meanwhile, chaos erupts on the battlefield as soldiers fight monstrous enemies nearby. The huge orc leader blows a horn, his red eyes blazing fiercely. The black-haired knight eyes the enemy, standing resolute in his armor. The orc horde retreats, failing to defeat the determined paladins tonight. The knight yells, chase them. Don't let those orcs escape. The chase is on. Torn battle flags fly as the knight spots a new, sinister threat. A colossal orc, called Orcval, roars and summons dark energy, looking furious. The knight pauses, surprised as his comrade calls his name, Yuri. Orcval aims a shadowy magic arrow straight at the knights with a wicked grin. The magic arrow blazes across the sky, threatening Yuri and his friend below. Yuri's eyes glow blue, and he slashes the magical arrow with a heroic move. The orc commander is angry and starts attacking, all because of me. The knight grabs his glowing sword, looking way too confident for this. I better respond to his taunt. Challenge accepted, Mr. Orc Commander. The orc commander launches a furious attack, totally triggered by our hero. Yuri grins and says he better answer the orc's taunt. The glowing knight, Yuri, stands ready as the orcs charge in. Yuri is joined by his worried armored friend, but he's unfazed. Yuri assures his ally, he'll be back in a bit, looking confident. His friend looks anxious, questioning if Yuri is really going alone. Yuri dashes toward the orc squad at insane speed, glowing with power. The orc commander roars, hyped up and ready to throw down. A massive attack launches as blades and power streaks fill the air. Yuri barely dodges a brutal strike, eyes locked on the enemy commander. This guy is locked in, sword glowing, ready to show off something epic. 5 years ago, Bernard dropped the soul severance bomb on me. Bernard explains battlefields are unpredictable. Training helps you handle the chaos. But your soul severance? It's next level, instantly finding the best sword move. Bernard's like, trust me, your body will move perfectly when it counts. Soul severance lets you defeat enemies fast, a real-life cheat code. The main character unleashes an insane sword technique, eyes focused, turning the tide. A burst of power strikes, energy flying. He moves like lightning across the field. Ground explodes as he lands. This guy is seriously up. He leaps again, sword ready, wrapped in blue energy, and takes control. The hero charges forward, sword gleaming, facing an army of monsters ahead. Two terrifying monsters with glowing red eyes snarl and get ready to attack. Our hero unleashes a powerful attack, cutting through monsters like a blender set to max. The main character calmly listens as the monsters cry out in pain. 3 more monsters approach, thinking they actually stand a chance against our hero. It's a 1-on-3 fight. Charging in would be like asking for a game over. Hero remembers how much he's missed being on the battlefield. Ready for action. Suddenly, the hero sees right through the largest monster's defense. Piece of cake. He calculates the most optimal sword path like he's speedrunning a boss. With surgical precision, the hero slices through, sending monsters home crying. Quar. The gigantic orc breaks free from glowing restraints, looking totally furious. But the armored hero slams the orc down in a burst of energy. The hero flexes, thinking his body's still catching up to his brain. Standing among the wreckage, the hero scans the battlefield for more action. The hero shouts, "Orcval," and raises his spear toward the moonlit sky. Out of the shadows steps Orcval, a massive, terrifying orc warrior with twin axes. Our hero's hand crackles with lightning energy as he grips his sparking spear. The hero hurls his energy-charged spear right at Orcval at lightning speed. Orcval catches the spear midair, smashing it with his powerful double axes. The hero just smiles confidently, clearly not done yet. He's having way too much fun. The knight unleashes a powerful attack, blasting the enemy with energy. The boss monster snarls, eyes glowing red with rage and pain. The monster leader stands his ground, gripping his broken weapon tightly. The monster boss roars commands, but his minions hesitate, nervous and injured. The knight thinks the monsters would rush him, but they keep their distance. The knight smirks, realizing the monsters decided it's not worth the risk. The knight says, "I hope this is payback for that arrow earlier." A friend runs up, shouting, "Yuri, are you hurt?" In concern, Yuri smiles and replies confidently, "Nope, I'm fine." The 2 knights share a laugh, relieved the battle is finally over. As Sibylla claims her first victory, the allied forces celebrate the win. Sibylla smiles and humbly thanks her teammate for the support. The knight credits Sibylla, saying their success is all because of her. Suddenly, monstrous feet appear, stepping into the aftermath of the battle. Huge orcs barge through the trees, shouting in their own language. Their leader, glowing red-eyed and fierce, stares down Sibylla and the team. 2 men talk outside an inn, questioning if an amazing story is true. A cheerful knight confirms the tale, retelling Prince Yuri's epic torch save. Fellow knights are stunned, saying the spectacle was absolutely incredible. One knight admits he thought Prince Yuri was just a lucky gambler. The blonde knight insists all the bad rumors are total lies. He proudly claims Prince Yuri got the most royal power of all. The blonde knight drunkenly volunteers to recount every one of Yuri's victories. In the corner, a mysterious hooded woman thinks Prince Yuri is more than royalty. She recalls how Prince Yuri faces danger alone and is always ahead. The innkeeper notices the hooded woman deep in thought at her table. Mysterious hooded woman asks the bartender about someone she's searching for. She describes a skilled swordsman with dark brown hair and a sword. Bartender remembers a guy with a weird accent, not great with language. He's not sure about the hair, but recalls the awkward accent well. The guy ordered risotto, no spices, and asked how to get to Balshot. The hooded woman confirms, holding a shiny coin, ready to take action. The bartender is super grateful, definitely enjoying the unexpected tip. The woman realizes Balshot is where all the allied forces are gathering. She knows her target is heading to the same place as the prince. We see the back of a legendary warrior, one of the continent's top 10. The swordsman from the east arrives, and everything is about to change. After the battle in Gid, the squad heads to their next destination. The team sets up camp every night, learning from past mistakes. Raymond jokes everyone's got the hang of camp duty, he's relieved. The knight praises Raymond, saying his leadership is what made the difference. Raymond assigns management and heads out, leaving his squad in charge. Raymond explores, feeling the eerie quiet even with all his soldiers nearby. He suspects there's a high chance of a night ambush. Danger is in the air. Suddenly, shouts break out. Raymond hears someone yelling angrily in the forest. He discovers soldiers scolding a kneeling figure for wandering away from their group. A half-orc gets insulted and called out by a hooded figure. The knight accuses the half-orc of being a sneaky spy. The half-orc desperately denies being a spy, looking terrified. The knight roughly grabs the half-orc's hand, not believing him. The knight insists the half-orc probably stole something and refuses to listen. The knight declares he'll destroy what the half-orc stole immediately. Suddenly, a prince arrives, asking why they aren't helping with camp. The prince, looking intense, tells them to get lost, no more warnings. The soldiers immediately obey, shouting, "Yes sir," while the half-orc is left stunned. The knights run away, apologizing, while the prince stands his ground. The knight checks on the hooded orc, asking if he's alright. The orc, clutching his arm, thanks the knight and calls him, "Your Highness." The knight jokes about scolding others, but the orc insists it's fine. The orc says people love beauty and hate hideous things, calling it only natural. As the sun sets, the knight asks about the orc's dream for the future. The orc opens up, admitting he dreams of living among people and gaining their recognition. The knight thinks to himself, realizing that's a really tough dream to achieve. The knight internally decides the orc can stay with soldiers as an interpreter, at least for now. The orc looks anxious, probably worried about what happens after the raid ends. The knight confirms the orc, Corey, is teaming up with Hernando, and Corey nervously agrees. The red-eyed character gets told to learn some magic from someone powerful. Smiling knight tells the hero, "You'll need unique skills to survive out there." The army camp prepares for the night, everyone is on high alert. Anxious voice asks if the camp is ready for a night ambush. The commanders explain all tents are covered in flame-retardant cloth and guarded. Blonde knight questions if all these precautions and extra troops are really necessary. Commander points at map, reminding everyone, we're in orc territory, anything could happen. Dark-haired knight warns, orcs might use fire attacks again, like they did before. Suddenly, a panicked soldier bursts in yelling, "Urgent news!" The commanders spring into action as the soldier shouts, "The orcs have attacked." Our heroes are sprinting into action, ready for absolute chaos tonight. Giant muscle monsters attack while fire rains everywhere. Yup, way worse than expected. A mysterious barrel crashes down, oozing with some kind of sinister dark energy. The main hero's eyes blaze with determination as magic explosions light up the scene. Huh? I'm lost for words. Even our hero is shook. Two knights stare at magic fire, realizing this is sorcery, not just gunpowder. Blatant magic bombs, really? Hernando, what's our counter? He's so done with this. Jared, Sir Raymond, split up and command. Let's show them who's boss. The main character readies his glowing sword, saying he'll handle the real problem. Armored and surrounded by blue fire, our hero vows to unmask the guy behind it all. The commander shouts orders to Jared and Sir Raymond to take charge. He powers up his sword, ready to make a big move. Now fully armored and glowing, the main knight steps forward with determination. He decides to find out who's causing all this magical chaos. The knight asks Hernando where the sorcery is coming from, and Hernando points. With a burst of blue energy, he sprints off, promising to return soon. He narrows his eyes, realizing he's close to something serious. The knight charges and suddenly spots a hulking figure in the chaos. He comes face to face with Orcval, the menacing orc boss. Grinning, the knight confronts Orcval, demanding, "Was it you?" The knight charges his glowing sword straight into the monster's chest. Sword clashing, the knight and monster exchange massive blows like it's finals week. Exhausted, the knight admits, "That guy is ridiculously strong. This is insane." The monster grins, thinking, his movement isn't ordinary. He's definitely fought before. The knight decides, "I need to secure distance. Up close is not working." The monster launches a savage overhead attack, forcing the knight back even more. With wild energy, the monster unleashes a rapid and relentless series of attacks. The monster's red eyes lock onto the knight, aiming for one giant finishing blow. The knight barely blocks the monster's huge axe, barely holding on with grit. In a flash, the knight counters with a devastating, blue-powered strike right to the monster. The knight admits his opponent is far stronger than anyone he's faced before. Close up on the hero's determined eye, he's totally serious about this fight. He charges forward, shouting, "Let's see what you got." The knight clashes with a monstrous enemy, shaking the ground with power. Landing in style, the knight looks up ready to keep fighting. The hero looks shocked and says, "This is." The orc enemy begins to glow with dark, ominous energy. The orc transforms, muscles bulging, and looks way more dangerous now. The empowered orc sorcerer faces off against the stunned knight. The knight realizes the orc can use sorcery and even control mana. Two knights witness a blazing purple inferno. One thinks it's gunpowder, it's actually twisted mana. The revelation drops. If mana is involved, even the orc warriors can use it. Our hero, swords blazing blue with energy, faces an elite enemy unit. With an intense stare, the hero unleashes his special move Soul Severance. The orc warrior stands menacing, shrouded in dark, corrupted energy. The orc charges angrily, swinging his weapon with wild, magical power. The orc takes a hit to the neck but looks stubbornly defiant. Clutching his bleeding throat, the orc refuses to go down easily. The hero clashes up close, sword buried deep, but the orc stands strong. The knight is shocked. The orc focused mana on his throat to survive. The vampire-like monster gets stabbed, but it's not going down easily. The knight swings his giant sword with intense determination and a heroic stare. A huge monster hand grabs the blade, stopping the attack while blood splatters everywhere. The knight slashes through the air, channeling purple energy, aiming for a powerful blow. The knight gets hit in the shoulder, blood spurts, but he grits his teeth through the pain. This knight starts smirking, saying, "A mediocre attack won't work on you, huh?" Power surges. Our knight's sword erupts in blue flames, and he readies for round 2. "Fine, let's have a fight. It's about to get legendary up in here." Blue energy radiates from the knight as the monster counters with burning purple rage. An epic blue versus purple energy clash explodes. The battlefield literally cannot contain this fight. An epic explosion shatters the ground, sending energy flying everywhere. As the dust settles, a crater forms where the blast hit hardest. All that's left is a broken piece of armor, barely hanging on. The armored knight faces off against a beastly enemy, tension in the air. The knight raises his sword high and declares, "It's over." With one swift strike, the knight lands a critical blow on the monster. The beast flies back, crashing into the ground, outmatched and stunned. The knight steps forward, ensuring his opponent doesn't get up again. Realizing the monster's still alive, the knight finishes the fight decisively. The knight notes, this one's an elite, so it might know more than others. The prince decides it would be a waste to kill his captive now. Armored soldiers rush in, shouting, "Your Highness," as they spot the prince. The knights check on the prince, worried, calling him by name, Orcval. Prince Orcval stands confidently, asks how the camp is looking after battle. He orders survivors gathered, tells his men to bring along the orc leader too. Prince Orcval, looking serious, announces a big change is coming from now on. The prince reveals his plan. They're going to start studying the orcs. At night by the fire, the healer explains how to avoid shoulder injuries. The healer uses magic to fix the knight's shoulder, teasing him about orcs. The knight just says, "You," as the healer finishes with a smile. Both are relieved it's nothing serious, the knight flexing his shoulder like a boss. Suddenly, someone yells, "Bring that here," and the knight looks confused. A majestic, glowing chair appears, fit for a true field commander. The knight is shocked, asking, "What is this?" The healer grins confidently. Embarrassed but grateful, the knight admits he can't reject the epic throne. The knight readies himself and moves to sit on the impressive chair. Sitting tall in the chair, the knight admits, "Not so bad, huh," with a smirk. The knight steps up and announces the interrogation of the captured orcs. Sitting confidently on his throne, the knight demands, "Bring them one by one." Things heat up fast. One unlucky orc gets roasted by flames. The next orc watches in shock as his buddy faceplants into the fire. An orc glares menacingly, warned he only gets one chance to talk. Our knight asks the million-dollar question, who ordered the night ambush? The orc just screams in rage, revealing nothing but attitude. A hooded guy attempts to translate, but the knight's like, relax, dude. Just an insult. Suddenly, someone shouts, Jared, and the next orc is up for questioning. An orc gets yanked roughly by the rope. Ready or not, here comes his turn. The blonde warrior smashes down, unleashing a fiery explosion on the battlefield. A pack of red-eyed monsters charges in, not looking friendly at all. Hooded figures and a knight prepare for something big. Tension is in the air. Orcs are instantly caught in a raging firestorm. Things are heating up literally. The main knight summons a glowing blue sword, saying, I will only ask once. The knight warns, depending on your answer, while the blue blade spirals menacingly. The blue sword crashes through flames, clashing powerfully with fiery magic. I will consider ending your lives painlessly, the knight threatens coldly. Jared stands over a beaten monster, told to put that one aside for now. A furious monster roars in rage, definitely not ready to give up yet. The knight asks his zombie ally what their prisoner is saying. The goblin begs for mercy, blaming the orc chief for everything. The knight notices the goblin is trying really hard to negotiate. The knight realizes this attack might be connected to someone bigger. He asks if the order came from someone called Okua. The soldiers are confused. None of them have heard the name Okua before. Okua, the king of orcs, is the reason the alliance exists. We see Okua sitting among skulls, looking ridiculously intimidating and evil. Okua, with glowing red eyes, is the biggest threat of this entire war. The zombie translator asks for mercy, and the knight agrees to spare the goblin. 3 armored men stand together, looking serious as tension fills the air. The hooded orc nervously asks the prince for his oath before proceeding. The prince is confused, asking what? About the orc's unusual request. The orc warns that breaking the oath would make the prince lose his honor. The prince smirks, surprised an orc cares so much about honor and strength. The prince accepts, saying he'll take an oath while his knight panics. The knight, Jared, is freaking out about what happens if the orc gets released. They confirm the orc's tribe leader got orders from someone named Okua. The prince presses for info. How did the orcs know the army's route? Jared relays, Okua has secret intel methods, but nobody knows exactly how. The knight tells the prince their route was discovered and an ambush was set. The prince realizes Okua did the same to the Holy Kingdom. The captured orc asks nervously just how strong Okua really is. The orc bursts out laughing while the knights wait for his answer. The nervous orc admits even 12 like him couldn't defeat Okua. Soldiers whisper Okua is fiercer and stronger than anyone alive. A knight cautions his friend to not underestimate Okua's power. Someone warns, humans are way more vicious and cunning, remember? The prince flashes a red crystal, saying humans are much scarier than orcs. The prince taunts a tied-up orc, joking about keeping his oath or starting a fight. 2 scared knights panic. Someone dangerous is breaking free with a glowing sword. Someone commands, stop him, but the guy just smiles confidently. The blonde armored hero looks serious, saying others are unworthy of honor. Chaos erupts as the big villain breaks loose. Knights try to fight him off. The mysterious black knight walks calmly as someone shouts, kill him, in rage.